Why Superman's trunks are non-negotiable. As a trunks guy, I'm pretty curious. Let's check this out.
So I was in bed last night when my wife Emily showed me a
What the crap are you guys showing me?
TikTok of David Korner, the actor who's playing Superman in the new movie, and he had this to say about Superman's iconic red trunks.
Check it out.
The problem with the trunks is that they look kind of silly. My contribution, I think, was to say, what if the point is that they look...
Do you think the trunks look silly? Like, in general, put it in the comment. Not asking if you like them or not, asking if they look silly. Put it in the comments.
a little silly. He doesn't want to look cool. And the trunks are just a way of saying, I'm not too cool. I don't take myself too seriously. Come say hi. Come laugh at me. Who cares? I can take it.
Absolutely.
Maybe.
And Emily was right to send me that TikTok because she knows I'm wild about these red trunks. I made a video a couple...
What? Is that him? What are you doing, man? I'm trying to run a more family-oriented channel, okay? Not like, for kids or anything, but good golly.
Years ago, defending Superman's red trunks.
Okay, now we're just
Superman
zooming in
wearing
on
his
it.
red trunks is intentionally a little goofy, which helps him feel a little bit more approachable. And I want to be clear here that I am calling the classic suit
This is not making this guy more approachable to me. That's all I gotta say.
silly in the most affectionate way. Superman should be a little dorky. That's what makes this otherwise threatening, powerful alien charming.
This is not making me feel approachable. Like, this is not the best argument to use. As a trunks guy, I'm a little like, oh,
And comforting. And I don't know, it's just nice to hear other content creators like David Korner also echoing those same sentiments. Speaking of echoing, by the way, much like this narrow hallway, Superman's red trunks have echoed throughout the history of the character ever since his creation all the way back in Action Comics #1.
Such an iconic photo.
Since then, they've appeared in all kinds of media.
Like how you can see his wife's reflection in the background.
From toys to video games.
Oh, I have that. It's back there. Somewhere.
To comic books to nearly all of the live action portrayals of Superman.
Nearly
I
all.
say nearly because of, well, let's talk about it.
That was a cool suit, though, guys, okay? That was a very cool suit. I do wish it had trunks, but it was a cool suit. I felt like the crotch area looked really weird on it. Not trying to stare at Superman's crotch too much, but because of the lack of trunks, it actually makes me focus on it more because of the weird, tight... Never mind.
So,
let him be weird.
A funny thing about the original Action Comics and other Golden Age Superman comics like it are that the red trunks served multiple purposes. One of them was how it helped to break up the character and make it easier for readers to follow the action from page to page. I mean, you might not remember this or know it even, but Golden Age comics back in the day were printed on really cheap paper with a printing process that was far from high fidelity. So having a character design like this, where all the reader has to focus on are big blocks of blue interrupted by little bits of red.
I don't know that the original pages were in color, though, were they? I know that all the reprints we have are, but I feel like maybe I'm thinking of the newspaper clippings. I don't know.
The trunk there in the middle, it was helpful for the reader to follow the action, to follow that character.
I gotta say, I'm a huge Trunks fan, but everything he's saying in this little spiel, it just sounds like a bunch of mess. I mean, you can't follow a character unless he's got underwear on the outside of his pants.
But
I don't know. Like, I think that what he's trying to say is that it helps to make it a very easy to look at kind of character, because the blue and the red, it does break it up. But I mean, it's not like it would be hard to see the character, would it? Put it in the comments if you think it would be hard to see.
It's exactly those red trunks breaking up the design that people argue against in a modern era. It's why Henry Cavill's Superman is like this impenetrable wall of blue.
I don't know if I'd call it Henry Cavill's Superman, because Henry Cavill wanted those trunks. Okay, he fought for those trunks, but Zack Snyder said he couldn't make them work. I've seen some concept art, pretty decent.
Right? Because the red trunks, they interrupt the sleek, streamlined design of the Superman costume. Not that Zack Snyder didn't at least try to find a design that worked with the red trunks. According to James Gunn, in an interview, he said, quote, "I was on the no trunks team for a long time."
Oh, James Gunn was. Oh, is that he's talking about James Gunn, right?
A long time. And Zack Snyder said that when he was doing it, he tried a billion different trunk versions, as we did. And I kept going back to no trunks, no trunks, no trunks. And as much as I would love to leave Zack Snyder and his Superman films in the past, I'm not going to, because I hate my comment section. But it's not hard to understand this problem with the trunks, right? I mean,
Guys, I don't hate my comment section. I love you guys. Even the ones that argue with me all the time. Looking at you, Guadalupe.
It wasn't really long into Superman's history that fans of Superman themselves started wondering about the trunks. They looked antiquated, they looked weird. People lost the...
What is antiquated? you can't throw big words at Kryptonite Korner, okay? We're not there.
Understanding of why he even has them. In Super Gods, for example, Grant Morrison wastes no time at all, just 14 pages in, before they ask this question. Because there's really only one question everyone wants to ask when the subject of Superman comes up. If he's so damn super, why does he wear his underpants outside his tights? Now,
Okay, guys, usually it's Kryptonian heritage. You know what I'm saying? He likes to wear his Kryptonian heritage. In America, we learned a long time ago, when people come over from other countries and they're wearing their own garb, you don't make fun of them, okay? This is like silly.
if you know anything about comic book history, and I think you do, you're a nerd like me, you already know the answer to
I like how serious he's being. Like, it's got the serious music. It's like all real.
this question. Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster were so inspired to design Superman with the cape and the spandex tights and, of course, the trunks themselves, because
that cape.
they knew that the peak of human masculinity and strength was circus strongmen.
Yes.
Just like me.
And it really hasn't changed. If you watch wrestling, a lot of these guys are still running around in Speedos and boots. I mean, it still happens. The Rock does it. You know, Hulk Hogan did it. I mean, it's still there.
And how masculine I look right now. My wife, who's filming, gave me a big thumbs up, so I'm happy about that. But I think...
By the way, guys, original videos in the description along with the guy's channel. So if you like this guy, which he's pretty interesting, you can go ahead and subscribe to him. And don't forget to subscribe to me either.
people focus too much on the strongman part of circus strongman when they're talking about the history of superhero design.
Focus too much on strong man when they're thinking about strong man. Oh, okay.
And costumes. We don't really focus too much on the circus part. And I think that's important.
Strong man, circus man.
Because circus strongmen, they were performers, they were entertainers, they were showmen, right? They didn't want to exude so much power and strength to scare off, to intimidate other people. That would be bad for business. No, you needed to feel and look approachable so that families, specifically families with little kids, would be so in awe.
Is he saying that they wore underwear to make them look less, like to make them look more approachable? No, I think, excuse me, sorry. I think they wore the underwear to show off their massive legs. I don't think that, I think that's kind of why they did that. They wore as little clothes as possible to show off their muscles.
Of the feats of strength that you're doing, that they would want to come and say hi, they would want to see what you were doing. It was important to be approachable. And David Cornsweet understands this. To continue with that James Gunn interview, he says, quote, "David said something to me that really affected me. Superman wants kids to not be afraid of him. He's an alien. He's got these..."
So he put on underwear. I don't know. I understand why David said these things, because he's a Juilliard-trained actor. They're supposed to dive into a character, make it make sense in their heart so that they can act freely. But actually using that information to justify it, I just say that it's his Kryptonian heritage. You know what I mean? It came from the strongmen, and then we started saying that it was the way they dressed on Krypton. Why is that not enough? I don't know.
Incredible powers. He shoots beams out of his eyes.
He does.
He can blow a truck over. So he dresses like a professional wrestler. He dresses in a way that makes people unafraid of him. That shows that positivity. That really clicked for me.
Again, I just think he dresses that way because it's his Kryptonian heritage. I don't think that he's dressing that way. Like, you know what? I'm going to change my Kryptonian heritage suit, throw some underwear on there so that kids are less scared of me. You know what I mean? Like, to look like a clown this day and age is actually going to make you look more scary to kids. So I don't know. I don't really buy all this as far as an actual justification. If David wants to use it to make himself feel, to dive into the character better, that's fine. But I don't know.
Did I do this? Do the red trunks look a little silly?
Not to me.
Yes,
I like them
they
so
do.
much.
But
here we go
what's the
again.
point?
My contribution, I think, was to say, what if the point is that they look a little silly?
Like, all right, I don't want to give myself that much.
I think it's a good definition as far as David goes, though, because it helps him to, be like, yeah, they look silly. But it's okay, because this is not a Batman character to look scary. I think that's what he's going for. This guy's diving really deep into it.
Much credit for my video a couple of years ago, but it is just so refreshing to hear other people, especially people tied to a new Superman franchise, saying the exact same things that I've been saying about Superman's trunks for the last couple of years.
Okay, now I'm getting why he's so hard up, because this is the way he's felt, and a celebrity has matched, a celebrity that is in Superman's boots or underwear, it is matching exactly how he feels. It's clicking now. I don't totally agree, but it's clicking now why he's so, he's serious. The music and the moving all over the house. Oh, man.
I mean, think about what Grant Morrison said, right? If he is so super, why is he wearing trunks on the outside of his tights?
Because it has Kryptonian heritage.
It's because the trunks give him his humanity. They show
it's his
a little
Kryptonian
bit
heritage.
of softness in Superman. Yes, he is super, but he's also man, right? You can't separate the two.
Maybe that's a good justification why you should keep the trunks for today. But he wears them because it's his Kryptonian heritage. That's what it is.
Superman. Because you know what happens?
Did I say that enough?
When you split up super and man and you just have a character who's only super?
Man of Steel happens. Man of Steel happens because I don't think a regular man would let his dad die so that his secret isn't revealed. But,
So right now, I'm working on a video about Krypto, the super dog.
We might have to check that out, guys.
Whenever it's out. But I'm stumbling into a character that comes up a lot in this era of comic books, unfortunately. And it's this guy right here. Frederick Wortham. Now, if you know anything about comic history, and again, I think we've established that you do, you know Frederick Wortham as the guy who wrote Seduction of the Innocent. This was a guy who believed firmly that comic books and superheroes were poisoning the minds of young children. They were a malicious force corrupting the morals.
Technically, all books, music, everything does that. But just because something is a book or music or a comic book or whatever doesn't mean it necessarily is doing that. You just have to be, as a parent, you got to, look at what your kids are checking out. It's not that hard.
Of adolescence. Now, he was mostly talking about crime and horror comic books, but I mean, if you're going to swing at comic books, you're going to swing at superheroes, and who else are you going to swing
Oh, Scooby-Doo and the gang! Cool!
at other than Superman himself? So, Wortham wrote,
I also like his giant D20 over there.
Ostensible heroes, such as Superman, tended to solve problems through the use of force and thereby taught children to be submissive to authoritarianism. Quote, Superman, with the big S on his uniform, we should, I suppose, be thankful it's not an SS. It's a little Nazi joke from Frederick Wortham. Needs an endless stream of ever-new submen, criminals, and foreign-looking people not only to justify his existence, but to even make it possible. End quote. Now, Wortham was far from the only critic. He was obviously the most vocal and the most...
Guys, this guy's smarter than me. He dives deeper into stuff and looks and stuff into ways I don't even care to. I can't believe he's gotten so deep into this. Like, he's really researched for this video. This is crazy.
Outspoken and popular at the time, but there were other writers, like a Time magazine author who wrote that Superman is akin to a Nazi in an article called Are Comics Fascist?
That's interesting, because some people say that Superman is a socialist in the beginning, in the Golden Age. I think it just depends on how much you want to hate Superman. Like, the left, the right, they all pick out stuff and try to say, oh, this movie, this comic, this whatever, it's pushing this direction. And yeah.
He also, there was also another writer that talked about how comic books demonstrated...
I will say I don't want politics in my Superman. I don't like it. I watch Superman stuff to get away from the real world. So when I see it in there, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I get it. Your personal view, writer, whoever you are, yeah, okay.
To children, quote, the nihilistic man of totalitarian ideology. They did not mince words about this. They believed comic books and superheroes, and specifically Superman, was a representative of all of these ideals they didn't like. Authoritarianism, Nazism even. Now, I bring this up not to say.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why. We're talking about trunks. Why? We're talking about underwear. Why are you bringing up Nazis?
On the verge of...
He's got this whole costume back there. I can't get that image in my head out of him spread-eagled on that couch with that costume. That too much. Too much. Do you guys want to see me like that? The answer is no, okay?
Another debate for comic book history.
Of course, his wife is filming. Maybe she was the one that pushed him in the drink.
Saying that, oh, comic books are going to be poisoning the minds of children once again. I think it's important to remember that the Senate subcommittee hearing on juvenile delinquency ended by saying that, no, comics aren't bad for children. Stop. But I do think it's ironic that in a modern era, we've come back around on a design of Superman that, to me, feels very militaristic. And I know that's not helped by the...
I don't know that it feels militaristic. Like, guys, I'm a Trunks guy, but I never once looked at his outfit and thought militaristic. And the irony in the fact that I didn't think that is that that's what the military in the movie wore too. Zod and Feora and all them, Namek, they wore the same outfit, which was kind of, the military, or it was. I never once thought of it as looking militaristic. So I don't know. I guess because it's uniform based, maybe. I'm not sure.
The fact that one of the most popular images of
Do you think it's militaristic? Put it in the comments.
Henry Cavill as Superman is him standing in front of U.S. military vehicles and personnel and weaponry. But, I mean, come on, they put this in the movie for a reason. They wanted you to associate these two.
I don't know. Guy, he may not like Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel. I like the new Superman movie. None of them are what I would write for Superman, but he really is like diving into... I'm wondering if his brain, he's just not saying political things, but he's thinking political things. Because I'm like, the military is there because aliens are there. That's why the military is there.
But I'm just so happy that we've moved on from this and are instead focusing once again on the glory and the silliness of the trunks.
I just like that the trunks are back. I'll agree with him on that, not for the reasonings totally, but I love the trunks. They were what he had in the beginning, and in the beginning his suit changed very little. His symbol changed like every issue for a while and sometimes mid-issue, and his boots kind of changed. They got higher up. They were like ankle boots at first, and I mean I'm glad that we're looking more classic. I'm glad about that because I'm a Golden Age guy. I love Golden Age Superman. That's where I'm at. I could read the Golden Age comics all day long and watch the Golden Age cartoons all day long. And the fact that we're going back to that is what has me happy. Not that we're being silly, and moving away from Man of Steel. I mean, that's not really stuff that's making me happy.
I don't know if you can see this.
Oh my gosh, stop groping the crotch. He is all about that. Is it too much, guys? Is it too much?
My cat sneezed on it here.
I hope that's what that
matter.
is.
But look, we're trying
This is getting too weird.
to do this all in one take, and we've gotten this far. So here's all I'll say, just to end it out.
Okay, to end it out, what do we got here?
I love Superman's goofy little trunks.
Yes, agreed.
To me,
Agreed.
they are not just some sort of frivolous costume choice, this meaningless element of a bygone era, all right? They are a little bit that, but they're not just that, okay? To me, hopefully my audio is good here. To me, the trunks represent something important about Superman. Look, I'm being goofy. Superman is goofy.
Where's the belt? You gotta have the belt.
These trunks represent Superman's humanity, his humility, and his intent to serve rather than to subjugate.
Okay, this is
And I
ending
think
off
that's
on a
awesome.
good note.
And I love that they're
Me too.
kind of wacky. And besides, if you wanted to watch a James Gunn
I can't stop looking at that cat sneeze mark.
produced Superman film that's kind of a authoritarian power fantasy of the character, just watch Brightburn. I remember it being fine. It's fine.
So I don't actually watch horror movies, really. I don't like them too much, but I did watch Brightburn, and it's funny that I mentioned that. If you guys want to subscribe to this guy's channel, link's in the description for the video. What'd you think? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more Superman fan reacts videos like this, let me know, guys. Don't forget to watch this one right here.